Welcome back to SnippetCoder, and we are back with another video. And this video is the continuation of our last video. In the last video we have already learned about how to integrate Logout functionality, and in this video we will design dashboard with cards and data table using HTTP GET request. And before starting the video, if you are new to our channel, subscribe the channel by clicking on the subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified about our latest videos. Thank you. For API we are using this website, and here we are consuming that list user API, and we will get the data that is in the form of ID, email, and first name, last name, and avatar. And these are the details we are getting in from this API, and we are going to consume this API in our application in the data table, and we'll display the data. So let's get started now. First of all, we will update our dashboard page, that is home page.dart file, and we will create one widget here, that is widget underscore UI setup, and here we will use the container. Inside the container we will use the alignment of center alignment. In the child we will use the column layout. In the children we will use the expanded layout, and we will put some padding here. Right now we will use the zero padding. According to the need we will update it. Then in the child we will use the list view. In the children's we will create two widgets. The first one is a dashboard items, and the second one is a that is the data table items. So in the list view also we will use the shrink wrap for the proper scrolling and all between the items. And for the physics we are using bouncing scroll physics. For the just we will test that our widget is in a proper way or not. We will write widget 1, then we will write widget 2, and here we will replace it with UI setup widget. Now we will see, so we are getting the two widget here. So now we will replace that widget 1 with that dashboard item, then widget 2 with the data table items. So in the pages folder we will create a new folder, that is of widgets folder, and here we will create one widget underscore home underscore categories dart, and we will make it as a stateless widget. We will name it as a dashboard items. Now here we will import the libraries. So here what we will do, we will create one generic method, and we will name it as we will make it as a return type of card, and name the method as a make dashboard item. And we will pass here few parameters. First one is media query data. Then we will have string type of title, string type of color. Then we will have the icon. Then we will have border, and here we will pass the function on tab. So now here first of all we will check width is equal to query.size.width, and then here we will define that font size on the basis of that width and all. Double font size is equal to width into 4 divided by 100. Then we will return here return card, and here we will use the elevation, that is 5. Elevation is basically used for the shadow and all of that card. Then we will pass here color, and color we are already passing as a parameter, and that's hex color class we have already created. Now we have to create that class. We will create here one folder, that is utils folder, and here we will add that class and dart file hex underscore color dot file. We have already created that class file. I have already used that class file in previous videos also. Basically what this class is doing, we are just passing that hex color code, and it's convert that hex color code to that color code which is known by that Flutter application. And then here we will import that back library, and after that we will pass here that parameter color. Then we will pass some margin, and here we are using 5 margin as a 5. Then we will pass the child here. In the child we are using container, and inside that container we are using decoration, and we are using box decoration here. And color we are passing from that parameter hex color. Then we are passing here color. Then here we will have the child, and we are using here center widget. Inside the child we are using inkwell. Inside the inkwell widget we have to define and on tap, and we are passing on tap function from as a parameter. Then we will have child, and here we are using fractional translation. Offset 0 0 0 0. Then we will have the child here, and here we are using that column template. Inside the column we have to define cross axis alignment. Sorry, before that we have to define here cross axis alignment, and here we have to define start. Then we will have main axis, then vertical direction we are using here vertical down, and the children we have to use that center visit, and in the child we are using clip over, and here we are just using the container, and height we are using the image size, and we forgotten one thing here, and here we have to define the image size. For that icon we are using the card, and width multiplied by 18 divided by 100. So size we are using image size, and then we have width, that we are using image size. Then we will have the child. In the child we are using center visit. In the center child we are using the icon, we are passing as a parameter. Then we are using here size box, and height we are using 50. Then we are using new visit here for that text, and here we are using center visit. Then in the child we are using the text visit here, and we are passing here title dot to uppercase. Then we are styling it, and for the style we are using text style, and here we are passing the font size, which we have already calculated on the basis of that media query and all. Then color of that text we are using as a black color, and font weight we are just using that bold. Then we are text align, we are using text align dot center. Then here we will just put size box and height .50. So this generic method is ready, so now we will use that method. So just to check that our function is working or not, we just consume that function, and here we will pass make drop down item, and here we will pass media query data is equal to media query dot off, and here we are passing that context, and the title we will just pass test title, and the color we are passing and the icon we are passing here any icons dot AC unit icon, just as a sample I am using right now. In the border I will use 5. So now I will include the dashboard item widget in my home screen, and here I will change it. So now we will see our application. So here we are getting that box item, so which we have created that generic method to create the box and all, and now we will use that grid and all, and in that grid we will define the multiple box item, that card items, and we will consume there. So here we have to create one method here, build list category, and here we will pass build context, then we have a context, and here we are using that media query. So now here I will return container. Inside the container I am just putting the height of the container, that is 150, and here in the child I am using grid view dot counts. In the cross access count I am putting 3, that means in that one row 3 boxes will come. If I increase it to 4, then in the one row that 4 boxes will come. So right now requirement is to display the 3 boxes. So here we will use the children's, and here I will pass that method which I have created. So first one we will name it as a active users, and I am just putting the user in the second line, and in the icons we will use dot verified user icon, and the border I am using right border, that is border side, and color I am using colors dot black color, and the width I am using 1.0, and here I am using bottom. For the bottom border using the same color we are using colors dot black, then we will have width. So on tap button we are not implementing right now any button click, that's why we are just making it as empty. So now first box is ready, so we will pass here. Here also we will use the padding, just first put this one, and here we will pass the context, and let's see the UI. So here the box is coming. So now there is some padding and all we have to do, like in the top and left side there is a no padding and all, and we have to put some padding so that it will look good. So for doing that we have to modify this method and this widget, and here we will pass return padding, and the padding we are just using as in set, and we are using here 5. Then in the child we are using columns, cross axis alignment, and we are using here from start. Then in the children's we will pass that visit. So now we will see our UI. So now if you see here, some padding is given, and from the top and left, if I increase the padding here to 10, so now you will see more padding is coming here, but we are getting here that error message because that box is getting small in the size. That's why we are getting here error. So we have to make it 5, else we have to increase the size of the container. So 5 is a perfect size padding. So now we will create 2 more cards. Here we will use inactive users, and color we are using here, and icon we are changing here as a help icon. So now the second one is also coming, second box is also coming here. So now we will create one more box here, and we will name it as a deleted user, and color we will use different color here. The icon we will use the delete icon. So now the third box is also coming. So now our visit card is completed. So now we will move to that data table. So now we have to create a data table and all, and before doing that we have to create one model file, and also in the API we have to add one method to fetch the user data. So in the model class we have to add user underscore model dot file, and here we will create class data model, and here we will have list user model, and we will create the user model class also. We'll add the constructor here, this dot data. Then we will create one factory method of data model, dot. Before that we have to add the class that is user model class also, and we will create class user model, and we will add the variables in type of ID. Then we will have string type of email, then we will have string type of first name, then we will have string type of last name, then we will have string type of tar, that is the pic of that user, and here we will add the constructor here, this dot id, then we will have this dot email id, then you will have this dot first name, this dot last name, this dot tar. Now here we will get the factory method, map string dynamic JSON, and here we will return user model, and then we will have ID. In the ID we will pass JSON ID, JSON email, first name, JSON first underscore name, And here we have to be very careful before adding the name. We have to match the name with the API, and here the API name is first underscore name. That's why we are putting here first underscore name. Last name, in the last name we are putting here JSON last underscore name. Then we will have the JSON here we will return data model data. Then we will have JSON data as list. Then we will map user model dot from JSON, and here we will pass I. Then we will have, we are returning as a toString here, and here we have to name it as I. So our model class is ready. So now we have to add one method in our API, and we will create one feature type method, and we are returning here data model, and here we are name it as a get users. String URL is equal to URL. We are using the same website, and here we have to change the API name users, and then we'll pass a page equal to 2, and here we will pass final response is equal to await HTTP GET request we are using here. Then we will check here if response dot status code is equal to 200 or response code dot status code is equal to 400. Then we will return here data model. That status code 400 is not necessary. We can remove it also, as because in the previous HTTP post request we are using the status code as a 400. In the case of that is you can say in the case of invalid user and all. So here I think no need of that thing, so we can remove it, and here we will return JSON.decode, and here we will pass response.body, and the else condition we are just throwing the error. So we will create one more widget here. So in the pages widget folder we have to create new file, and we will name it as a widget underscore report underscore list dot file, and we will make it as a stateful widget. Here we have to initialize our API service. We will use here void initialize state, and here super dot initialize state. Then we will have API service is equal to new of API service, So here we have to create one widget to fetch the data by using feature builder, and here we will do widget underscore fetch data feature builder, and we will pass a return type of data model here, and in the future API service dot get users, and then we will have here builder. In the builder we will check build context async snapshot and here we will check if snapshot dot has data, then we will return here that our build, and that is the data table. We will create that widget also. In the else condition we will return here center, then we will have child of circular progress indicator, and here if the data is loading, in the meantime we will display that progress indicator to the user. And now we will create one method, we will create one more widget, and in this widget we will pass widget build data table data model we are passing as a parameter, and here we will return data table, and here we will have the columns, and the column we are passing data column. In the data column label we are using that text widget, and we will name it as a name. Then we will pass the style here, and for the style we are using text style. Then we are using the font size of 14 here. Then we will have font weight, and we are using the bold here. We are using W900. So next column will be email column. So now here we have to pass sort column index is equal to 1, and the sorting will be done on the basis of that column 1. And then we have a rows here, and here we are passing data model dot data dot map, and here we are mapping data row, and the cell we are passing here data cell. Then we will pass then we will have the widget of data cell row. We have to pass here data cell, and here we will use the row widget. And the children's we are using two columns. First one is image.network, and here we will pass that data.avatar, and here we are passing the width, height 30. After this we are using one more widget, and as a text we are using, and we will use the padding also. Here in the padding we are using h insert all 10. Then we will have child. In the child we are using the text, and the text we are using both the data first name and the last name. Data dot first name, data dot last name, and then we will have style. Then we will create one more data cell, and that is for email ID. Text data dot email. Then we will have the same style. And we are just using the font weight bold. So here to list, and we have to call this method from here, return build data table, and we will pass here snapshot.data. Then we will call that fetch data, and for doing that we also have to create one label also, and before doing that we will just pass that method fetch data, and we will run the application. Before doing that we have to include this visit report list in that home page also, and here in the UI instead of that text visit we have to pass here visit report list, and here we will import it. So now the loader is loading, and the data will fetch from the server, and the data table will be filled. So now the data is coming here. In the data table we have the name column, and then we have the email column, and in the name column we have the image, and then we have a name of user, that is first and last name. Then in the email we have that email ID. So now we have left only one step in that report list. Here we have to add one label also, and for doing that we have to pass return. We will use that padding here. Then we will have padding constant, then we will have child, and in the child we are using column, and here we will use cross axis alignment, and that is cross dot start. Then in the children's we have to add one text widget. User list, we will label it as a users list. Then we will style it text style, font size 20, font weight bold. So here that label is coming, but data is not coming because we have to pass that widget also here in the child. So now we are done, and we have the user list. Then there loader is loading and the data in the data table is coming. So that's all in this video. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like, comment, share. So very soon I will come back with another series of them, might be that is of SQLite and all, and we will start a new series and we will learn new things and all. Thank you all.